Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another review, and today for you I have another pair of ear tips, and we are taking a look at a KZ ear tip. Yes, I know, hasn't happened on this channel so far, but this is the first KZ ear tip I actually was interested in, because this is the KZ LS01. This is a liquid silicone ear tip, and if you followed my channel, I really like liquid silicone ear tips here. This is the MS100, that I did still like enough. But the classic liquid silicone ear tip from Softy is here, really good tip. I still use it not daily, but regularly on most IEMs. And yeah, when I saw that KZ does one, I was immediately like, okay, let's get this shit over to me. Let's see how they do. First, as usual, packaging and accessories. So, this is the packaging, as you can see. So it comes in this plastic thingy. You see a graph here. And unfortunately it's all Chinese, so I don't even know what they want to tell me here. Which one is which, I can't tell you. At the back there is some core advantages listed here, which honestly I haven't even read. And let's directly get the ear tip here, so you can see a bit of the shaping going on. So that is the shape. So I would say it's standard ear tip shape, a bit wider outlet than most. And price-wise this clocks in, so again, it's KZ product, so it widely fluctuates in prices. I think you can get this for about 6 to 7 euros at lowest, and at highest it's on Amazon Germany. They charge 20 bucks for the free pair here. But I guess this is way outlier, because if you import this from anywhere else, it's about like 10 bucks at worst. So I assume for the sake of the comparison here, that this is $7.50 for the free pair here, making this rather cheap, with only 2.5 euros per pair. So definitively on quite a bit on the bottom scale of how much ear tip pricing goes. And then we quickly come to comfort and fit. And I usually do really praise liquid silicone ear tips for their comfort. And KZ is no different. I don't know what is with this material here. Wait, this is the MS100. Let's maybe get the classic one, so we can see the difference here. I don't know what is about this material, but this type of silicone is usually really nice and squishy. It deforms nicely, it feels nice in the ear. And the only thing that I usually talk about, and this is no exception here, it's sticky. So if you don't mind sticky, this is definitively an option for you. And I don't mind sticky. And I even have to say here, one thing that KZ gets absolutely right. Sometimes we will distinguish this a bit more in additional factors later. This thing, as you can see, the liquid silicone here usually gives you a wider core on the outlet, or the outlet here at the front. That means usually it stays relatively safe in your ear, and it's still relatively comfortable because it's still squishy enough. KZ goes the complete opposite route. There's basically no ring around the outlet, as you can see. And then they still have these additional grooves, but make it, I think, just even a bit more squishy still. So that means this is, I think, the softest, the most squishy ear tip I have had today, while not having the thinnest material. It is on the thinner side compared to the other liquid silicone ear tips. Let me just get this in here so you can see that is definitely a bit thinner. I think where is the one from Rose Techniques, which is, I think, my preferred version of this so far. You can see definitely thinner. So what does this mean? In day-to-day life on most IEMs where I managed to get this to seal nicely, dang, this is so comfy. This might actually trump the XLS tags, honestly. It's so goddamn good. It sits in my ear. I have no pressure feeling. It really just is, it fits so well. And there's a small issue with this because it's so squishy. Yeah, you need to have exactly the right IEM for the job. I will show you a few pictures now and later again in the additional factors. It deforms so easily. It folds, it squishes, it just gets weird on the wrong type of IEM and just doesn't seal then. So with these three sizes they give you S, M and L, which, oh yeah, I forgot to take it before, it's just not enough. Like, you really need to jam it in your ear then, and because it's so deformable, it completely squishes apart and doesn't really fit or seal then no more. But again, assuming you get this to fit right, I would say this is an amazingly comfortable ear tip. Really, it rivals the XLS tags in terms of overall comfort. And yeah, then we come to noise isolation. Yeah, I mean, it is relatively thin. You can see the material here. There's no thick mantle. And one thing that it has going on, where the mount here is a bit recessed. So you do get usually deeper insertion with this, which can help with isolation. But in this case here, I don't know. If I don't get an IEM where this directly inserting me super well and I really get this to fit just right, I think this is not well isolating over the linear tip. I think it maximum reaches a 4, maybe a 3.5 out of 10, where 10 is a really nicely fitting dense foam tip and a 1 is a super thin flimsy silicone tip. So this is definitively on the bottom in terms of isolation. Next we talk about shaping sound. And I mean, yeah, but should I say, this is one of those things I will talk about subjective first, because I usually always listen before I measure. And first thing, this is a bit deeper mount, so depending on the IEM, this can mean that you do get some reduced upper treble because you lose some resonance. That's the bias, how I usually start when I look at products, so you just see where my bias is from. But with this bias out of the way, let me tell you, subjectively, I don't really perceive there any difference for other, let's say, medium wide outlet here. You can see in direct comparison to the M100, to the Sound Cocoon from Rose Techniques here, this is a bit wider outlet, but subjectively, I think they sound really close. I don't think this has more upper treble, less upper treble, more upper mids, lower upper mids than any other IEM tip that is similar in terms of outlet to this. So that means there's no amplification going on, there's no reduction going on with treble, it just sounds normal to me. And objectively, let's check out some measurements here. So again, we will check out measurements with pinner and without pinner. And as you can see, this is, according to measurement, definitely a bit on the upper treble reduction side here. And especially noticeable is this when you compare to the outliers that have a lot of upper treble going on. But to my ear, it just doesn't come off as that. A good example here is the quintet with pinner, which I will now highlight hopefully in the video. This is more how it appears to my ear. Yes, it is possibly slightly more dull than other IEM tips in the upper treble region, but it's not a lot. And this means generally this keeps a balance of IEM tips out there. And if they originally claim, which again, I can't read Chinese, so I don't know what this is supposed to mean. If their claim is they increase treble, that won't be true. But if their claim is it slightly reduces treble compared to other tips, yeah, I mean, this would definitively be true compared to when you see my measurements that I took with pinner and without pinner here. So I don't think it is good or bad because it doesn't completely kill the upper treble. It just, according to measurements, slightly dampens it, but that's about it. And then we come to additional factors. And first, let me tell you, I don't know how long this tip will survive. It uses, as I said, relatively flimsy material, and I don't know how long that will last. In the weeks I've been using it, it just bounced back to its original shape. Like, I don't see any difference in terms of the inner diameter or the outer diameter, it just looks normal. So durability wise, I think this is medium, speculative, because I haven't had it for like half a year or so, but speculative, it's medium durable due to thin material. Cleaning wise, it's similar to the other liquid silicone tips. You usually just rinse it under some warm water, it'll be okay. But because there's no TPE or other weird material, I think also alcohol would be fine. But I personally would more likely just use some light soap and call it a day. And again, now I have to take it similar to the comfort before. Let me again stress, this is super prone to squish and fold. Like really, I don't need to apply much pressure, as you can see it here, for it to just squish. And if I go a bit of an angle direction, you can see here how easy this deforms. And this has huge potential to make it uncomfortable or for you to break seal with it. And this makes it a bit of an odd tip generally, because while being super comfortable, if you get it to fit right, there's so much potential that can go wrong with this tip. And that brings me then directly straight to the conclusion. Hear me out. I personally really like the comfort of this tip, especially on something like the Etude, which is relatively big, but a relatively medium to shortish nozzle. It just fits me so nicely, like really, I can wear this basically all day without any issue. But as soon as it goes just slightly off, like for instance, I have a picture here, I think, that is from the Buds 2 Pro. That's how it looks, just in the picture here. If you just try to wear it, it deforms so easily, it squishes so easily. And I really can't recommend it just because it's so weird. Like the material is so thin, it's so squishable. I personally really like it, and I still use it daily basically because it's so good. Like it's liquid silicone tip, so comfortable. But really, I can't recommend this just because the chances of this not working for you is way higher than it is of this working for you. If you are up for a really squishy ear tip and you want this experience and you have an IEM that you know will fit with this, I think this can be a nice collective, like an ear tip for your collection where you're like, okay, this might be really nicely. But if you're just after a good ear tip that works with most IEMs, I can't recommend it. And yeah, that's about it here. Hope you enjoyed it. Questions, recommendations, or criticisms, please leave a comment. Donspektor out.